Okay, and we're gonna turn the sound down on that. And we're gonna see who shows up. Because I did not. Oh, there we go. Put it in live chat. Because I did not put up a notice ahead of time. So, for those of you watching it on the replay later, hi everybody! Lighting's still on, right? Hang on. I have to move the lamp. That's a little better. There we go. Cats have knocked this over enough times, it's a little wobbly. There we go. That's better lighting. A little better anyway. So, my hat's cockeyed as can be. Hello, Nora. Oh, yeah. I don't think it's below freezing here, but it's cold in the house. I lost a button today, and I know not where, and somehow I broke another one. I broke that one. Lost the button here. Boy, they don't sew them on as well as they used to. But oh my goodness, 21 degrees. Nora, you must be freezing. You must be freezing, girl. Where is? No, two. Let's get down to that one. Yeah, it's been cold here though. Today, you could hear it. You could hear it dripping from off the roof, and the streets are clear, but it's still cold out there. But it's more snow due by morning. We'll see what that is. So I'm not looking forward to it because they might release my brother tomorrow. Might. We'll see. But I thought, well, I would at least go live for a little bit, give you guys an update, because today has been a very, very busy day. I was downstairs in the kitchen. My sister came, and I was on my feet just way too long and have wiped myself out a bit too much. And I'm kind of paying for that. So, but I'm doing what I can do. You get to see me folding up papers and stuff because I got to put all my scalp paperwork away. Get all this tucked out of here. And oh my goodness, so much to do. I need that part. But this is what I'm currently reading. It's a very big graphic novel. Usually you don't see them in hardback. But I have that one going, and oh, that didn't make it into the mail. That's got to get in the mail. What was the other one I'm reading? Because it's in the other room, and I can't remember. Future Shock. It's a book called Future Shock. That's more Scout stuff. That's from lock-in. I have to get that into Scout book, and I think I have. And you have the blue cards for.
They're somewhere in here. I think down there last we checked.
They were. Maybe they're buried. All right. So that's that stuff packed away and out of the way. Mike looks for magic. Hi. How goes the move? How goes prepping for the move, Mike? I know that can be a royal pain. An absolute royal pain. Oh, that's Boy Scout paper. I missed that one. I love when they send the notice out and says, canoeing merit badge, major reorganization. But then they only give you the numbers of what they reorganized. They don't tell you what they actually reorganized. So I will have to go hunting for that tomorrow. This is, put that over there. So I hope everybody's doing well. My brother is still in the hospital, and getting over there to him, it's quite a trek from the front door to the old part of the hospital where his room is, and then to get all the way around to the back of the hospital where he's at. And it's a lot of walking, and that ramp, there's a spot where you're going up a ramp, that just kills my foot. And then today with my sister kind of killed both feet because I was standing up way too much. But she was helping out. I raided Gary's room for dishes, and so she was washing them because she knew it would make me sneeze, because everything is, he smokes in his room, and he smokes a lot. So everything that comes out of there, the minute the hot water touches it to wash it, that you just get that cigarette smell. And I stayed across the room from her in the kitchen to try to not have it bother me, but it did. There's a lot of congestion in there. So yeah, still trying to pack, Mike. I feel you. I definitely could feel you for that one after all that help I gave to that lady. That was a lot of packing. You never really realize how much stuff you own until you have to pack it up. Then it is a major amount of stuff. So just keep plugging away at it. You'll get there. You'll get there. Um, so my day was spent sorting papers and out and in the kitchen tidying up in there, because while she did the dishes, and we had the fun of the cats, because the cats didn't know what to think. They absolutely would come out and they'd kind of peek at her. Finally, Frodo got brave, and he came in, and the kitchen trash can has a lid to it. That's one of these, you step on the thing and it'll pop up. So they hop up on that all the time. So he's behind her where she can't see him. She has her back to him. So he gets brave, and he goes and he hops up there, and he keeps looking at her, and he keeps watching her. And I said to her that he's there. And so she really slowly turned around and looked at him, and he's like, "Oh, who is this woman?" She very quietly just goes, "Boo." And he bolted. He moved like somebody just shocked him with electricity. It was kind of funny because she was so quiet about it, and he just freaked and ran. Um, Gimli was outside in the snow. I didn't get that filmed, but it was funny because today I let him out into the backyard, and he's walking through it, not at all happy that it's making his feet wet, but he wouldn't come back in. He went all the way out to the back corner of the yard to the neighbor's shed. Um, and then finally came back in after about 15 minutes. He'd had enough cold feet. I opened the door and I whistled for him, and he came right on over, but he's still like, and he steps on spots because now we had a little bit of melting, so there's a crust on the top, but it's not quite enough to hold him. So he'll step on something and then his foot sinks, and he's like, "Eek," and he's grumbling the whole way in every time his foot sinks like that. Then I'm hearing this little row, row, and I was like, God, he's taking lessons off the doctor, because she makes noises like that all the time when the kittens are around. just just kitty cat grumbling. So the good part of puttering around in my kitchen with my sister is I have started a box that's going to Goodwill sometime this weekend. We already have a bag of clothes up here, and And so now there'll be stuff from downstairs. I know there's a picture frame or two I need to get into that box. So, but I am pretty tired out tonight, but I didn't want to just disappear on you guys. And Mike said, you know, you could do the live from the desk if you're not going to be on too long. So, so I'm doing it from his room, and then we'll just be on for an hour, and then we'll all go. Well, you guys, some of you guys are on the West Coast. It's not midnight there yet, but it will be for me. And they might, we'll see. They might spring my brother Gary tomorrow. Um, it's been an interesting roller coaster of lots of medical tests. One kidney's not working correctly. It was full up with potassium and calcium. Um, and then, of course, he's underweight and malnutrition because I said he hasn't been eating right in a long time. So they did a whole blood work up on that and gave him grief and a nutritionist because they said, yeah, you might be, 130 pounds and think you're doing okay, but you're not. You're completely malnutritioned, which is not helping your system any because he eats crap and eats vegetables, not at all. But he just milk and dairy. He'll eat anything with cheese and drinks milk and lots of eggs and bread. I mean, he'll make a sandwich occasionally, especially if it's ham salad. But other than that, that's all he eats. And he'll pick at what we cook, but most of the time he doesn't eat it. And it's just kind of crazy because you're not getting enough nutrients in. So he's got read the Riot Act by a nutritionist. We'll see how good that does. Uh, so he's got that as a problem. So they started pumping him full of IVs that were mineral and vitamin supplement directly into the IV. And he kept saying, I don't like this because now I don't feel right. I'm like, yeah, what, healthy? You don't feel healthy? Yeah, of course you feel different when your body's been starving everything he had except potassium and calcium was like way, way below where it should be. So they're trying to get that straightened out. And but he's still short of blood and they just don't know why. So his system's just not, and this has been a problem for a while. His system's just not replenishing it. So they'll get it figured out, but it depends on what the tests show for that, whether they'll let him come home tomorrow. And I'm kind of hoping they don't because I'd rather they kept him another day instead of letting him go during a snowstorm. Because he's a little wobbly. He's really by waiting so long to go see a doctor until he was so weak and so thin, he's very wobbly on his feet. They've had him up and down the hallway, but he's had to have a walker. And that's that in the snow. I know for a fact from having used a walker myself, a walker and snow don't go together very well at all. So I'm hoping they keep him for Friday and spring his sucker on Saturday if you're gonna do it. Um, better yet, it wouldn't hurt if they kept him all weekend, uh but yeah, so he's doing much better. But it's definitely a warning for people. Take care of your health. Don't wait. If you don't feel right, talk to a doctor. I know that can be expensive. I know it can be a royal pain. But if you actually have stuff wrong with you, you need to monitor it and you need to eat healthy. I mean, a lot of my weight was from working second shift, come home, you're eating dinner at 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night, and then you're up till 1 in the morning and you go to bed and you got to get up again in the morning, rinse, repeat. And it's not good to eat a full meal right before you're going to bed. But I know years of that put my weight on me and then all those bed rest times. But even I've been losing it. So Yeah, I thank you for the prayers and the good thoughts for him, because I ain't ready to lose another brother. We already lost the oldest. So it did wake him up to something, that somebody needs power of attorney over healthcare, and that he's got to make sure all his insurance policies, well, all his insurance policy, he had, if you have yours, make sure who your beneficiaries are, because it turns out our mom is his beneficiary, his primary one, but she's been gone for 16 years. And it'll be a royal headache if he passed and that we're still like that. So he brought that up, and so we're gonna get that fixed, because we're not messing with some of that. Because in some states you have to prove that if the primary beneficiary has passed, then in some states, you have to prove that their estate has been settled. Otherwise, it's considered part of the estate, which is weird because it's life insurance. So, but the first thing it's got to do would be to pay for a funeral or memorial service. So, but he all 16 years and he hadn't even thought to fix that. So he's said that we're fixing that. What's the matter with you? Elrond is still hiding under the bed. He still thinks that evil lady is still in the house. Elrond has not come out from under the bed since she got here. He hid upstairs, and that was, he comes out periodically, but for the most part, he's hiding under Michael's bed. uh, so, so it's a start, and I have had some good sales lately on eBay. One of the things when we went through a box of stuff I found was a old, I think I showed it to you guys one night. It was an old gift card from Blockbuster Video. Now, I don't know if it has money on it or not, and there's no real Blockbusters around. I think there's one left out in, I don't know, Washington. So, um, so it has an image of this anime from Dragon Ball Z. And so I put it up for $15.99. And it's been up for 14 days. And then somebody bought it. So it was $15.99 that I got. Well, hello. What you doing? Which one are you? I can't tell since you got your oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Don't take the light with you. Which one is this? Is this Arwen or Aragorn? This is Aragorn. All right, you calm down. You know it's all right. It's Aragorn. Don't take the light with you. Oh my goodness. Hello, Sherry. Hello, Cody. Cody's fanboy. But it was just funny that was something that was still kept, that gift card. But when they have specific artwork gift cards, even those can be, somebody out there may buy them from you. You gonna go now? Gonna go over and see Daddy? Nope, you're gonna come right back and be a pain. Hello? No, you're not. No. This is why we say he has the smooth brain. Is that what you want? Yeah, that's what you want. You want mom time now, huh? You pick the worst times, don't you? So I guess we're doing this with him here. So, but it's been good. I mean, I've had a book, a postcard, a jacket, and now the gift card all sell in the last 10 days, 9 days, 10 days. So that's good, but that means I gotta get my eBay store refilled again. Doesn't have much in it since I've been stuck up here with the boot on my foot, but I can walk around the house now. I do have to limit how many times I'm up and down steps because that really aggravates it. Um, I'm getting a little worried about this foot because most people that have planters, it doesn't take this long to heal, but there's still quite a lump on that one foot along the tendon or ligament, whichever it is. It's late and I am dead tired. My brain is not fully engaged tonight, guys. So, but we are making progress. And what? It's okay. The lady's gone. That was just Phyllis. It was my big sister. My big sister's shrinking because, I used to have to look up. She's getting shorter, but not so am I. She's 70 now, and I'm 58. So, so, but she's the only one I got. By the time I was old enough to remember her, she was away at college at Clarion State, which is on the other side of Pennsylvania, up by Lake Erie. And then she got married when I was 13. So I saw more of her after she got married than I really remember of her before then. So it makes for interesting dynamics when your siblings are that much older. And oh, I hear Slate purring. Are you happy? She's gone. It's okay. Chicken. Scaredy cats, every one of them. The only one that got brave enough to go near her was Frodo. So, what is everyone's plan for the rest of the month? I know my immediate plans are shipping things, which I got to get them out tomorrow. Hopefully, the snow will not hinder that if I get it done first thing in the morning. We'll see how bad it is. I don't know how much we're getting. I haven't looked that up. Yeah. You know that feeling, Nora? Happy? Oh, look at this. I'm going to put my head down. You a happy baby. Yeah. I have a feeling when I go to bed, somebody's going to follow me, hoping to go into the room with me. Now, if he comes into the room to sleep with me, it's fine. He'll either snuggle up under the blanket at my hip, or he'll lay down at my feet and in between my feet. He kind of pins me down. And you and Mary are 9 years apart. Gary and I are 8 years apart. And then there's a brother in between us that's 4 years older than me. But the oldest one was Steve. Steve was 16 when I was born, but Steve died of COVID. Um, yeah, see, it's still weird to think he's gone, but he's been in California for so long. He wasn't around here, so his wife, my sister-in-law, is still out there. So I don't know that she'll ever be moving back. They've talked about it for years, but never did anything with it. So what? What? You're fine. There's nothing here. This is our little scaredy baby. He gets very clingy. But yeah, you're probably going to sleep in the room with me. But I only have a twin bed, so it's not conducive to have too many cats. So if I forget and I leave the door open, I may wake up and not be able to move, or I wake up and I'm being pushed out of my own bed because I'll have him and Gimli and Elrond, and they'll be all up against me, like pushing me half out of my own bed. So, but they make nice hot water bottles. You get nice and warm if you got a kitty cat that's halfway under the covers with you. Oh, CDC, he finally agreed to go to the hospital, but we had to call an ambulance to do it. And that was, I forget when that was. Was that Monday he finally went?
I don't know.
Friday.
I thought it was Monday. I don't know.
It was, yeah, he was supposed to go Friday morning. And then he fussed around and didn't get it done until Saturday. Saturday's when he went in. So, hello, Lou. Um, so yeah, he's been in for almost a week now, but it's still up in the air whether they'll let him out tomorrow or not. You know, he of course wants to come home because he wants to be able, and the first thing out of his mouth is about how, oh, you know, I get home, I got to run out to the Wawa, and yeah, it's because he's out of cigarettes. He has been, he can't smoke when you're in the hospital. Those days are long gone, if they ever were. Uh, but they've at least got the kidney to flush and get a lot of that calcium and potassium blockage out of it, which is good. But it is still got some damage, and it's a little smaller than the other kidney, because that's apparently why he's been feeling worse and worse and getting pale and having no energy. And this has been going on for a couple of weeks. And I kept telling him, call a doctor, talk to one of your doctors, find out what's going on. And he waited until he was too weak to get down the steps without help, because this is his always what he does. He waits till it's worse, and so then complains because he's stuck in there in the hospital for a week. But he does like the attention, and he's always flirting with the nurses and joking with them. So, you know, he'll have plenty to tell me about when he comes back, about this nurse or
Well,
that nurse. And
also to be fair, I don't think he ever assumed he was going to be there more than a
yeah,
couple
I don't
hours.
think I think you're right. I think he assumed he was going to go in and they would give him fluids and they might give him an IV, a blood transfusion, and he'd be home again in a day or 2 days at most. I'm sure he did not expect to still be in there. And I kept pestering, saying, no, better to get it taken care of now because you're in there. So he did agree to let them start checking about why his blood count is so low. Because he wasn't gonna let him do it. He was like, "Oh, I can go to do a doctor at home," and I'm like, "No, no, no, you're in there. Get it done." So it took a little talking to get him convinced that to do it now. I don't know what it is. Most of my brothers put stuff off. Wait, I mean, I do it too, but I'm not this bad. I'll call the doctor and go, I need an appointment. I'm not a fan of this. Let yourself get so bad that you got to go into the ER bit. Uh-uh. So, so that's what they're working on, and we'll see how he's doing. Um, he didn't want any fuss, so he didn't really want me to tell any siblings. So I don't know why he's got kind of goofy about that this time around. But so he's and I've been cleaning his room, but I can't be in there much because I come out smelling like cigarette smoke, and I have to change my clothes right away because that's the only place he's allowed to smoke is in his room or outside. So that room just stinks of cigarettes, and it makes it hard for me to breathe. So, but it is what it is, you know. We all take care of our families when we can, however much we can to some extent. And so that's what I've been back and forth to the hospital, and it's not the hospital that's closest to us. He didn't go there. He went to the one further away because it's better. And most of his doctors are there. So um but it's a hike to drive out there a little bit. I don't mind that. It's the hiking from the main room, from the main entry all the way around to the back of the old hospital. That's a bigger challenge because my feet are just kind of done. I've been doing up and about too much. Um, because therapy is helping with the stretches, but then it kind of gets to where it's almost like it's I know they need to stretch it and all that, but then when I get home, it's pretty good because it's got the blood flow going through. But then by when I wake up the next morning, it's stiffer than it would have been beforehand. So we're still on that, back and forth thing. And that's frustrating. I've never had this planners before, and it's pretty bad because it's lasting a lot longer than it does for most people. But we'll just keep working on it and just keep plugging away. And if we're going to do a Goodwill run, I want to get to some of that because I'm sure there's stuff there that's got to go. Because I know there's some boxes there I haven't been through and see what's got to clear out. Let's see. There's still a few things that were from last week's sale. If you didn't see last week's sale, there are still a few things available. So you can see. I did everything offer up last week. And the next time you see some of those things, they will be a set price. And they'll be higher than what I started them for, that's for sure. But I forgot what I was gonna say. I am that tired. Foo. Oh, so next week should be a live sale, but I honestly don't know. There's so much hinges on how my brother's health goes and what goes on here. And I could tell that my back is starting to go, so it's getting near time for me to have shots in my spine again. That's making itself known. So when I rest, I sit and I read. And I've got through what, 4 books already this year? That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Because I'm determined to get through 100 books this year. And I want most of them to be off my own shelves. Because I have so many books that I haven't read yet that I own. And get them cleared out. If anything, that's one of the few things that I want to do this year. Is if you could call it a resolution, I don't care, but I just own so many books. It's time to like really knuckle down and read the ones I want to read and take a look at them and see, do I really want to read this one? Yes, no. Because some books I got back in the 90s when I was working in well, that was the late 80s. I think they closed that store in 1990 or 91. But I worked for 8 years at a Walden Books, and I haven't even gotten to the boxes of books in the attic that are from there because I've got so many uncorrected. I used to get on all of the um, publishers that were of the ones I liked or the sections that I took care of because I took care of sci-fi fantasy, I took care of mystery, took care of men's adventure. I took care of Dungeons and Dragons because that had just come out and we're starting to be carried by Walden Books and other mainstream bookstores. And I got on all their advanced reading copy lists. So I have a lot of those. I am trying to keep warm, Becky. I am trying to keep warm. The only time it really was kind of cold was when we had the snow, because then the wind kicked up a little bit, and old houses can't, and some windows like that one still have. That's why I've got the hat on because it is chilly in this corner because the air conditioner is still in. But this room because it has two radiators that are on the 1935 loop for the heating system, and it gets really warm. But if you're sitting here, I'm technically over top of an outdoor porch. So the floor is really cold on this side of the room. The other side of the room, on the other side of the bed, um, is over the living room. So that's not as cold. So, oh yeah. Yeah, I haven't done ebooks simply because I've got so many. Though I have found some audio books on YouTube. Um, I got to hear Stephen Fry read his Mythos book, which was great, and his Heroes book. So that was great because then I could just hear him read them. And honestly, you could hear that guy read a phone book. He's got such a good way with words and reading. So, uh, but I'm trying to think how many. I think I have a list of 18 because you have to watch. If you find it where somebody's posted it on YouTube, you need to listen to it like really soon because some of them are, especially if they're ones like that one, they may not be on there legally. So they might get yanked, but the Stephen Fry one was still up. So, uh, so that's there we go. So that one, he had that one, and what was the one? Moab is my wash tub. It's an early one of his, which is really goofy title. But you could find a lot of classics. I've heard one version of Alice in Wonderland that was kind of interesting with that, but that book's public domain, so anybody could read it and put it up online. So there's some of those. There's some where the authors themselves have put it up on their own website where they've done some short stories. So I've found some that way because I don't have I don't know if Spotify has audiobooks on it. I know they have podcasts. Oh, bless you. But I don't have much to talk about tonight because I'm just tired and uh and it's been a week. So where, everything was focused on scouts to get the advancement stuff dealt with and dealing with my brother and what? I guess he doesn't know what to do because I'm talking and I'm not talking directly to him, so he doesn't know what's going on. But how many of us over time end up with, a lot of books on our shelves that we haven't read yet? I know I don't tend to have too many that I read and didn't like. If I've ever, and I've always been that way, if I've read a book and I thought, okay, though I'm not sure I'll read, I know I won't read this again, then I've gotten rid of it. I'll donate it to, one of the local libraries, or I used to run the Arden Book Fair, so I used to take them all down to there because I ran the book booth for the Arden Fair, and so they got them all usually. But it's a nice way to keep rotating them through, and it doesn't hurt to, like, even if you have to set a timer to spend like 30 minutes a day reading, it just does seem to keep me less stressed. I've been finding, so that's not a bad thing. So I have that book, and I have The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, which I've seen the movie for that. I was so surprised. The book is just this little tiny thing. It's very thin. It's like it's no bigger than my daily planner. It's actually smaller than my planner. So I have that from the library. And then after that, then I had 4 books from the library, and it turns out one I had already read. I just didn't recognize the cover because sometimes they change the cover art. And so I've got those, and they'll go back. And so the next batch of books have to be ones off my own shelves. And I've got one that I've been working on for ages, but it's technical. It's all geology of this area, and it's got so much technical jargon. I have to sometimes look stuff up because I don't understand the words used. So I'm learning. That's how you keep your brain active. Learn new things, and that helps. Oh, did I hit a good spot here? Oh, look at that head coming up. Ooh, happy kitty. That's only because I still have some fingernails left. I haven't managed to snap them all off yet. Yeah, happy kitty. Oh, what's you doing? You gonna show everybody your golden eyes, or you just gonna squint at them? You just gonna squint at them? Yeah, oh. So I was surprised too that with all that wind that there in our yard anyway, there really weren't many limbs down from anything. I mean, that cup and saucer magnolia is old. That's the last of Sarah Wetherell's trees that I know she planted. So that thing was from 1911. So that tree's over 100 years old, and it's showing its age. Um, but it didn't lose any limbs. But the neighbors behind us lost a pine tree. Looks like the whole thing just tipped over and snapped from all those winds. So they'll clean it up when there's not snow on it because it's laying right. It went right behind their fence line. So it went perfect. It didn't take the fence out or anything. But I was surprised there really wasn't that much damage from all the winds for us, but there were other areas last week. Yeah, pine trees have shallow roots, and sometimes when they get really tall growing in between other trees, the wind will get them. And if you've had rain for too many days or anything, they will tip. You don't need to go there. What? Do you want to leave? What do you want to do? Get your foot out of my pocket would be a good start. What are you hearing? Yeah. Can you not hit me in the face with your tail? Sir, what do you hear? Go find it, chicken kitty. I think you hear, whoop, I think you hear Elrond under the bed. Elrond is not a giant mouse. Poor little Elrond. He's still chicken. Yes, I'm losing you. What are you doing? There you go. You're getting kind of heavy to be one armed. Males always turn out to be big kitties. It gets kind of hard sometimes to hold them with just one arm. I can't with Gimli. He's so much muscle that he's heavier than any of them. So 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 there's a. I did find out today one good thing is that I might be able to go on a regular troop camping trip in March because they got a cabin, and it's to Baltimore to go see the aquarium, and I've never been. So if they have cabin, then that means there should be bunks instead of trying to sleep on the floor of a tent, which I still can't really do. Um, so that was good news that I might actually be able to go on another trip and go see the Baltimore Aquarium, which is supposed to be really, really good aquarium in Maryland. And it's not that far away from us. but I've never been there. So I might be able to go with the scouts in March. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that we'll get there. So, um, did y'all have any questions or anything you wanted to hear me catch up with me about? Because it's 11:45 and I'm just gonna hang with you guys for another 15 minutes and then I'll put this little guy down and I'm gonna head to bed. Because sometimes if they spring them from a hospital on a Friday, they sometimes do it early. But I do know that he has to have lab work and another test done at 8 o'clock in the morning. And then what the results are from that will decide if they're letting him out today or Friday or not. So, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I will be. I have a lot of stuff to clean out and clean up. Time to start getting through the boxes that are in the kitchen, the stuff that has to be washed and evaluated for sale. Um, from the house clean out. So we can, because next week will be a sale week. And, oh, what was I gonna? There might be a pop-up sale. I've kind of got myself mixed up here because I was going through the boxes in the kitchen that are all these cookbooks. And I know I had some of them at a sale, but they got mixed up. So now I don't know which ones were in the sale and which ones were not. So I might just film a drop sale that'll show up sometime in the next couple days. I might just do them all again as a drop sale and film that and put them up. So you may see that popping up this week or this coming week in the early part of the week so that I can start clearing them out. Because right now I have an entire box of them and another stack of them on the counter and a whole other box of them sitting in the kitchen, and I'd like to clear that out of there because that's the name of the game this year. No more cleaning out other people's houses. Not allowed in 2024. I've got to focus entirely on cleaning out this place. So, and do you guys have any plans for a big clean out in yours? Are you going to spend this winter? Because really, they always say about spring cleaning. But by spring, there's stuff to do to go outside and you got to get done. I think winter's the time to do that kind of thing, purge stuff, because you've got time. You don't want to be on icy roads anyway, so you just stay home. Maybe then's the better time to do the, spring cleaning and go through stuff and try your clothes on and see what doesn't really fit anymore or what you don't is what's out of style and purge your closets. And so maybe it should be winter cleaning. Just general tidying up because you got to keep yourself active, but it's the weather's not great to be outside, so do stuff inside. I have to think about what I'm going to do for a garden because the neighbor moved. He still owns the building, but he moved to be closer to his daughters because his wife's ill. His ex-wife is ill. So the daughters want to finish high school where they're at, of course, and Chester doesn't have the greatest schools. So, but he did say I could still use that Foursquare thing that he built for a garden. Problem is that he never put anything as a base in there, so the tree roots are coming right up through the bottom. So I may have a decent garden this year though, because soon as the weather is warm enough, I'm gonna I'm gonna take all that out of there and lay some cardboard down underneath, because then what'll happen is the tree roots will go for that. And so for probably you should be able to get about 2 years out of it, where then they won't go straight up and won't be messing up the roots from the other stuff you plant. But I do have a growing stand in the basement, and so I might get some stuff started this year if I can keep these guys from nibbling on them. Because that cat grass, I need to find seeds for cat grass. That didn't work too well because the pot they were in, the instructions said you don't bury the seeds, you just lay them on top. Well, that didn't work because the minute these guys started eating them, they were ripping it right up out of the ground because the roots weren't strong enough to hold it back down in the pot, in the dirt. So that didn't work out well. They loved it, but it didn't work out too well to have it be something that can be repeated. Let them have it when it's this high, and no, it just ripped right out. So try that again as soon as I can figure out where to find seeds for cat grass. Because I've looked in the stores, and the stores just have the stuff already growing. I don't need that. I need seeds. So there's got to be somewhere out there. I'll find a place online. Or check, not Penzies. Penzies is spices. Baker Creek, and see if they have seeds for it, because they've got Baker Creek Seeds has seeds for all kinds of stuff, and see what they've got. So I'm gonna say goodnight and let you guys go. It's 8 to 12 here, and somebody's making my arm go. He's slowly sliding down and getting a little lower because my arm's giving out trying to hold him one-handed. So I hope you guys all have a good week. If you're anywhere that's getting this snow, I hope you stay safe and keep an eye on that weather for winter. That El Nino thing, you don't know what you're going to get when. So we might have had this snow and then get a warm up and then get another snow dump on us in February. So I hope it all works out too, Mike. Thanks. So we'll see how it goes, and just keep taking one little step ahead. That's what we'll do for all of us. We'll all just keep plugging away at what we have to do, and we'll make progress this year, every one of us, because I know we can. All right? You guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye.